Hello, guys. Welcome back to what is becoming one of my favourite consistent segments on Sweet and Sour, and it is, of course, Transfer Talk. Have you noticed, Scott? Whenever I go onto Sky Sports website, their rumour page is called Transfer Talk. Did they take that from us? I've got a funny feeling it was never called that. I do genuinely believe Sky have copyrighted us.
I mean, it used to be the transfer centre, didn't it? But
Yeah.
I think we kind of stole their yellow theme from them a little bit, so we weren't complain too much.
You can't steal a colour. But honestly, guys, well, if you don't believe me, go on to Sky Sports. If you type in Sky Sports rumours or transfer, it comes up transfer tour. We need to hire someone to have a look into this because that could be worth a big moolah. But guys, this is Transfer Talk. There's a lot happening today, so we might miss some things off. We've got Championship news, overseas news, and of course, all the biggest names in the Premier League. And of course, with it being the Euros, there's a lot more speculation. Now, let's kick off with a very interesting one. Raheem Sterling. Now, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? I've lost it. It's no secret. It's no secret that Man City are after Harry Kane. They've been in a hunt for him now for really 12 months, seriously, especially the last few months. Raheem Sterling has said he is not interested in a move which includes him being bargaining power. Because the rumour is Man City are willing to offer him to Spurs along with Gabriel Jesus for Kane. But Sterling's like, listen, I'm not going to be just a tool or a pawn in a trade. I don't see him going there anyway. I think that's just too far a step down. You know what I think of Spurs? Surely there's better clubs that would want Sterling.
I think there is, and I don't think he's the type of player that would fear going overseas either. To be honest,
I agree.
I think it's one of them. It's a really odd one for me, but maybe this has come a bit out of nowhere where Sterling's now, supposedly having talks with City after the Euros, which is something that has been mentioned. Yeah, a bit of an odd one, but maybe, he's got wind of this bargaining power that he was potentially going to be used as. And yeah, now he's just thinking, well, you know what, I might look to, go elsewhere. Obviously, anyone that does take him on, there is a lot of wages to it. And it's just an odd one. I know he had a bit of he didn't do brilliantly this season, but before that, I think he's been firing for the last 2 or 3 years now. So, and looked to be an integral part of the City team, but maybe they're looking to refresh it. We know that City themselves, they want Kane or they want Haaland, which is going to be big money. So they are going to have to lose a few players. And one of them, obviously, we talked about Jesus. Another being Bernardo Silva, who has been linked with away. I think he's not happy about his game time. And again, what an asset to anyone that can get Bernardo Silva. I think he's probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League at the moment for me.
I've loved this guy for a couple of years now. Even when he wasn't, I'm not saying I discovered Bernardo Silva, obviously, but even when he wasn't really getting the plaudits, I just love this guy, the way he played. I think he won Young Player of the Year last season, didn't he? And it was that big kickoff because he was 25, like a couple of weeks after, because you have to be 25 or under, which is a joke. But yeah, I love Bernardo Silva. To tie in Spurs again, they have joined the race with Liverpool to sign a young Italy defender, Lorenzo Pellegrini. Now, he's got a contract with Roma until the summer of 2024, so a 3-year deal still. And nowadays, a 3-year deal, my God, it does add up in what the value would be that you'd have to pay to get him. So, let's not take Spurs seriously in that, shall we?
Yeah, well, I think it's one of them, isn't it? As you've pointed out, they're gonna have to overpay for someone that's got 3 years left on their
and Daniel Levy is not doing that.
Spurs aren't going to overpay, and I mean, obviously, if anyone's got the money to do that, you'd be more inclined to think Liverpool would be the ones to spend more. But even so, they do their business quite shrewd, so it depends how much the club needs money, and I suppose also how much Mourinho wants to keep him as well.
Liverpool do like their add-ons, but unlike Arsenal, they'll get the job done. You know, we got quite a lot in add-ons for Jota. I think Van Dijk was a bit similar. There was a big fee up front for Van Dijk, but they do like their add-ons. but like I said, they just get the job done with it, kind of thing. And they make so much money on even when they sell players based on add-ons. I mean, look at what Barca have had to pay Liverpool for Coutinho. My God, they had to pay him because he won the Champions League with Bayern Munich because he
Yeah,
wasn't
no, that's
stipulated.
crazy. I mean, let's talk about Coutinho. Actually, that's actually worked out really well because he's been linked with a move away as well. Apparently going to be available for maybe even as short as 15 million. Leicester linked, West Ham
Yeah,
have been linked, and of course Everton have also previously been linked with him.
yeah.
So there's a lot of Premier League clubs that are supposedly interested in him, and you think they really add value. He really adds value to any of those clubs, really, doesn't he?
How old is Philip Coutinho now? It feels like when he was at Liverpool, and this is what, 6 years ago, he was about 23, 20. Is he coming close to 28, 29?
I
Or
think he's
am I?
29, 30 now.
Yeah, he's still got a good 3 or 4 years left in him at the top level. I'd say he just needs a regular football team around him. There is talk of Tillemans to Liverpool, obviously, and a host of other clubs because I think he's world class. I think he's in that top bracket of midfielders in his position. But I don't see how Coutinho fits in there. They've still got Maddison. Do they not want to rely on Maddison anymore because of his injuries? He's very hit and miss. You either love him or you hate him, it seems, with James Maddison. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Coutinho one, it would be. I'd like to see him back in the Premier League. I must admit, that year he had at Liverpool, that 18 months, just blew the league away. Let's go from an attacking midfielder to a left back that may be making. I say left back. He was a right winger, right back, and now he's a left back. Maybe making an appearance back in the Premier League, and that's Ashley Young. Now, Inter Milan have offered him a 1 year extension. Young hasn't jumped at that. He wants to listen to a few offers. Watford, obviously his old club that gave him his break, have been in the hunt for him. I think that would be a good signing for them, coming back in the Premier League, get that experience. And I think Young could still do something for a year, 18 months. And also Burnley, we know what Sean Dyche is like. He's very pragmatic. You know what you're going to get from Young. I'm not saying I'd like to see him back in the Premier League because I don't really care either way. He was a good player,
No.
but now it's one of those things. But do you think for him he'd like to come back, maybe end where we started at Watford, get another year or two under his belt in the Prem? Do you think?
It perhaps might make sense. I mean, maybe the bloke doesn't see his long-term future in Italy, and if he can come
Yeah,
back for a year or two, I mean, often at these ages they kind of negotiate coaching opportunities if that's what they want to go into at a
yes,
later stage. Maybe going back to a Watford where he started his career, maybe you can go there for a year, 18 months, and then
yeah,
potentially start, in coaching if that's his ambition, or maybe just
yeah,
find a general role for him at the club. Well, I know which sounds really daft, but these footballers these days, it's talked about a lot. They need something to do after football. They lose such a buzz and that
yeah.
kind of just being able to do something every day. So if he can go to somewhere that he can perhaps focus on that and
Yeah.
do something with the latter stages of his career now, that might actually be the swinging point, and maybe a club like Watford or a Burnley may be able to offer that, and also means that he can come back to England.
Absolutely, yeah. That'll be an interesting one. We'll try and keep you up to date with that. Let's quickly jump onto Sancho again. I'm sick of it. Very quickly. Apparently, there's a deal very close now. It's just the add-ons they're trying to do. The add-ons could make it up to £86 million with a fee of 60 plus the add-ons. I'm bored of it now. Let's literally move on. I've got another rumour which I'm more interested about. Andy Weimann, ex-Wolves player and Villa player, has signed for Bristol City. That interests me more than Sancho to Manchester United.
At least it's new news, isn't it? And at the end of the day, you know this Sancho deal is going to go through, but it's a long term. If Dortmund are probably so annoyed at United at this point, they wanted it probably done last year, and they just didn't meet the demand. They kept
Yeah,
pissing about basically, and
yeah,
now it's still taking time to get over the line. I know a deal of this significance makes sense that it
yeah,
would, but I mean, I guess that's a player that is potentially or will move to United. Moving on to a couple of players that potentially are going out of United.
yeah.
The first one of these, there's no concrete rumours, but it's the Euros, and Paul Pogba has started talking once again. This is just a little one. He started saying that he doesn't feel that he's used in the right position at United, and it's 1 year left on his deal. You wonder if he is destined to go elsewhere this summer.
What is Paul Pogba's position? Like, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher had a really funny debate about this on Monday Night Football, and I'm pretty sure this was a year ago still. Is he a number 8? Is he box to box? Is he a DM? Is he an attacking midfielder? Can he play off the left? Is Paul Pogba a footballer now? What is he? I don't know.
The thing is, it's the Euros, and with France, he's going to turn up and look like £100 million player tonight. He always does with France. So, yeah. I mean, look, we'll skip on from that and move on to Vanny Dunder. Go on, I'll let you go for it because I've messed that up completely. Van der Beek.
Donny van der Beek. There you are. Donny van der Beek.
It's a messed up pronunciation there, but yeah. Van der Beek, he's been linked with Arsenal, weirdly. Of course, we said about a week ago now on our last transfer talk, Neves was heavily linked there. Maybe they've been a little put off by the fee. Who knows? They're now looking at other options, and Van der Beek may be one of them.
Well, speaking of Neves, I saw as a passing post today, just scrolling through, I think it was Instagram or Twitter, or one of the two, that apparently Bruno Fernandes has been telling the United powers to be of just how good a professional Neves is, what he does off the field. He's asleep early, keeps himself to himself, but also gets involved with team bonding sessions. And apparently he's really been, Bruno's been pushing Neves' number. So let's see, let's keep that one. Just a quick one on Bournemouth going to the Championship. They have, of course, Jonathan Woodgate in charge at the moment. They have said they'd like Parker, but they're not willing to cover any severances pays, I think it's called. I've probably butchered that. They don't want to pay out his contract. They are going to wait a little bit to see if Parker comes available, and they want to snap him up with a good deal. I don't see Fulham letting him go, though. Scott, do you want to jump onto another thumbnail story? Shall we jump onto the main man?
Who's actually... Sorry, I was just saying you completely read my mind there. I was thinking, we're coming towards the end of this, and we've still got two of our thumbnail ones to mention.
Yeah, let's jump on Ronaldo. He's playing, as we're recording this, it's half-time in Hungary, Portugal. I believe it's 0-0 still. So, let's talk about him.
Yeah, apparently been linked with a move to United, obviously returning to United. One of them apparently is prepared to take a wage cut. We've already spoke about the fact that Juve are happy to get rid of him purely just from a wage point of view. He's swallowing up such a big wage bracket for them. And this one kind of makes sense to me. You look at where Ronaldo can play. He can play up front. He's used more as a striker now, isn't he? But of course, he can also still play on the wings anywhere on that forward line. And that's where United need improving. And I still think he massively improves that front line for me. So, yeah. Ronaldo to United, are you buying that one, or is that just is it just one of those links that's always going to happen?
It's just always going to happen until he retires or goes to the US. I think. Listen, Rashford, Ronaldo, and Sancho would be very tasty to see as a neutral. I don't believe they sign both. I imagine Sancho would be getting upwards of 200 grand a week plus. We know Rashford signed a recent mega money deal. I think it was last summer or maybe around that time. Ronaldo's going to be, if Ronaldo's willing to take 200 grand a week, I don't know, maybe, but it's a lot of money. That now we know Man U can do it, but I don't know. I think we just leave that one on the back burner with Ronaldo to Man U, because that's happened every January and summer transfer window since he left Madrid, and even the last season at Madrid, it was maybe he comes back to United.
It was maybe, wasn't it? But let's talk about the last on our thumbnail. Obviously, a United player also. It's been quite United heavy today. But Martial, we talked about Sancho coming in. Well, it looks like Martial is going to be the casualty of that and potentially off to Madrid.
I can believe that maybe. He's not going to get the goals that Benzema does. We'll see how Benzema goes next season. I mean, he had a great season this season, just gone. Is it a replacement for him? I don't know. Martial's still young. I think he's 24, 25 again. Maybe older. It was Van Gaal that gave him his opportunity, wasn't it? He's been around a lot longer than you think.
He's never going to get an odd one. I still don't know his best position. I don't know if he's a striker. I don't know if he's a winger.
Is he? I thought he'd be coming off that left a lot because it was when they trialled Rashford down the middle, and I think Martial played out wide on the left, and I think he did
Yeah.
okay. But then they just pushed Rashford back out wide. Is he a number? He works hard. He's like a Lacazette. I think that's the best comparison I can give for him. He's like a Lacazette where he's not going to get you the goals, but he works hard. He holds the ball up very well. I do watch a lot of Goldbridge, and he's a fan of Martial because he links up play. He doesn't need all the goals or the assists, but he brings, you know, he'll link it in a way where Man United players have got time to get up the pitch. And listen, if they've got Sancho next season, if he can hold the ball up and get Rashford and Sancho on their bikes, then it could work. But again, what is Martial in terms of a footballer? What position is he? I feel like he hasn't kicked on.
Yeah, I agree with that. He hasn't kicked on, and obviously might make sense. They're bringing Sancho in, big money signing. You imagine in these times, they're not like clubs aren't spending that much unless they can sell. So,
Yeah,
someone's going to have to make way, and obviously Martial could be that one, as well as Van der Beek that we've mentioned. Another couple of quick ones. Hakimi to Chelsea, obviously.
yeah,
Right back from Inter at the moment. Well, kind of plays a full back role more than a right back role, but it's an
yeah,
interesting one. We've obviously seen Adama Traore linked with before with
yeah,
Chelsea. Obviously, the potential was that he could play a right wing back role, which was really interesting in an attacking wise, but defensive ability not so much. I think Hakimi maybe a big fee, potentially looking at around 50 odd million, could be as high as 56 million. But he is going to bring a bit more defensive stability than someone like Traore would do, while still offering that the ability to go forward and attack. And
yeah.
it might suggest that Chelsea are looking to maybe move. Well, I say move. Chelsea are looking to play a 5 at the back next year.
Yeah, a few lingering suspicions of that towards the end of the season. I don't see Aspilicueta the answer for that. I just don't. We know how good defensively James is, but I think as time goes on, he will push up more of the pitch because I think Reece James has still got so much to offer in an attacking sense. I don't think his numbers represent just how good he is going forward. And if he is going forward more, it will leave someone like Aspie susceptible to a lot more attacks down that side. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens there.
And obviously, you've got Reece James. Could Reece James end up that right centre back? We
He could
spoke about
be.
that before, didn't we?
He could
Um,
be.
I don't know. Another quick one, I guess. Lingard to West Ham potentially could be back on, especially now that Moyes has recently signed a 3-year
3-year
extension.
deal. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I think he's really interested to bring Lingard back, obviously, after last season.
yeah.
Potentially Man United, though, on the flip side, Man United are trying to convince him to stay. We've spoke about this before, but, he's not going to get in front of Bruno, is he? And you kind of feel for Lingard that you feel that Lingard really just needs to go and play football and
Have
enjoy
fun
it.
and score goals, get assists. Yeah, yeah. Just have fun and play.
Yeah, so that I mean, and then just a couple of others were just quickly, I guess, from not the Premier League. Donnarumma to PSG is pretty much confirmed. Obviously, the young keeper going to be a great signing for them.
What was his name again?
Did I get that completely wrong?
What did you say?
Donnarumma.
Donnarumma. That sounds like a topping on a pizza. Donnarumma.
I wasn't that far off for me. God's sake. PSG, anyway, young keeper, that would be a great signing. And quickly moving on, Depay to Barca is pretty much over the line.
Yeah, I'll finish on one last one as well. Did you see the funny clip of Riyad Mahrez partying with Haaland and he tweeted something like Agent Mahrez or something
Yeah,
like that? Yeah. I don't know. Would he post that? Would Haaland let him post that? Was it just banter? Why is Riyad Mahrez hooking up with Haaland now? Does seem a little bit weird, doesn't it? You never
it's one
know.
of those which is massive speculation, but at the same time,
You heard it here first. What does
yeah,
that say up there? This is transfer talk, not transfer rubbish. We break news, we don't report it.
there you go. We could say maybe if it does go through, we break it 3 months early. If it doesn't, everyone's going to forget anyway.
Exactly. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. So, if you
It's a
don't
weird one,
know,
this, because
now
I
you
feel like we
know.
probably could have kept on going, but we'll probably leave
Well,
it at that.
we normally try and keep these transfer talks to about 12, between 10 and 13 minutes. But listen, we're not going to miss stories off. There's a lot been happening in the last day or two, 24, 48 hours. And, as the Euros progress, we're going to get more. So, I'd rather do an extra 10-minute video than miss transfers off. So if you don't like it, just unsubscribe.
Is this the part of the video now where I tell people to subscribe?
Oh, yeah. Save
That
us,
has been
Scott.
another
Save us.
episode of Transfer Talk. I'll do my usual outro where I go, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Even if you're not new here, please hit that like button. It means a lot to us. And we shall see you on the next one.
Nailed it as always. See you later.